Hello, I'm Kamali, taking you through some of the things people are talking about and some of the stuff they're sharing around the world on NewsFeed today. Who won and who lost and who cares? We try and wrap up the midterms and tell you why women may have come out on top. Should Diwali now be called the Festival of Smog? Bill Gates holds some poop to make a point about toilets. And where is this llama going? That and other questions in Wednesday's Animals Doing Stuff. And top of our newsfeed, the social midterms. The elections were a battle of the memes. Hashtags facing hashtags played out on Twitter and Gab and Reddit. And now, as most results are out, did one side win? Well, it's complicated. In what's kind of indicative of the way that politics in the US is these days, both Democrats and Republicans can claim victory, a victory of sorts. Republicans kept the Senate and added a few more seats, while the Democrats won the House of Representatives. And with that House win comes the prospect of serious investigations into the president. Now, one place the Democrats may start is the fact that Donald Trump, in 2 years, has still not released his tax returns and seems to have no intention of doing so, breaking a norm that all previous presidents have adhered to. And with his tax returns released, the American public will be able to see if he has any conflicts of interest or if he's making money off his brand while in the White House. But with that being said, the Republicans maintaining control of the Senate means it's unlikely he would be impeached. And of course, the president has tweeted, "Tremendous success tonight, thank you all." Short and sweet, nice. Until 2 hours later, he came out with this, probably after watching lots of cable television, quoting a tweet from a guy called Ben Stein, who I know best for being the economics teacher in Ferris Bueller, describing Trump as magic. And Mr. Stein rightly points out how rare it is for an incumbent president to pick up seats in the Senate in a midterm election. But our big winner of the night is women.
But we have the power to make things better.
They want leaders who are going to tackle the big problems.
And I told you your vote is your voice.
Yes.
Your voice.
Yes.
And you use your vote. And you use your voice to vote for me on...
Well, there were a record number of women standing in the congressional elections, and right now, 116 have been elected. And of those, there have been a number of record-breaking firsts. Now, in the House of Representatives, Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib became the first Muslim American women elected to Congress. This is them afterwards.
Rashida! Rashida! I want you to know my mom, who's from a small village in the West Bank, they're literally glued. It's like 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the morning. And now it's more than that. But they're glued to the TV. My grandmother, my aunts, my uncles in Palestine are sitting by and watching their granddaughter. Uplift the families of the 13th Congressional District. I'll uplift them every single day, being who I am as a proud Palestinian American and woman. Yes! You know, a lot of my strength comes from being Palestinian. But I can tell you, my mother's, like the compassion this woman has, that is in me. She smiles every single time. This woman doesn't even understand when people are being racist to her. Because she believes that people can be better. And she is an inspiration to me in so many ways.
The first woman of color to represent our state in Congress. The first woman to wear a hijab to represent us in Congress. The first refugee ever elected to Congress. And one of the first Muslim women elected to Congress.
And the first 2 Native American women ever were elected. Now, that's amazing if you really think about it. Sharice Davids and Deborah Harland.
Growing up in my mother's Pueblo household and as a 35th generation New Mexican, I never imagined a world where I would be represented by someone who looks like me.
And Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez became the youngest person ever to be elected to Congress. She's just 29, and you can see what she thought about it from this video she posted to her Twitter, channeling Queen Bee, so my producers tell me. And in Georgia, Stacey Abrams, who was backed by Oprah Winfrey, no less, has refused to concede defeat in the governor's race there. She says she's staying in the race until every vote is counted.
And we believe our chance for a stronger Georgia is just within reach. But we cannot seize it until all voices are heard. And I promise you tonight, we're going to make sure that every vote is counted. Every single vote. Every vote's getting counted. Because I'll tell you this, in a civilized nation, the machinery of democracy should work for everyone everywhere, not just in certain places and not just on a certain day. Because this is not about me. It's about us. It's about our voices. Say our voices. Our voices. It's about our votes. Say our votes. Our votes. It's about our time. Say our time.
And the other thing we want to look at today is what can we draw from the fact that a couple of the most promising Democrats lost. And what makes each of these Democratic defeats interesting is what they tell us about Donald Trump's America. Now, first up, let's talk about Andrew Gillum in Florida. He had to fight a campaign in which his opponent called him a monkey, the president called him a thief, and racists ran racist ads attacking him. And all of that vitriol and hate succeeded. He lost. Then we had Beto O'Rourke. Now, he had to fight a campaign in a state where a Democrat has not been elected for decades. He was described as a socialist and said to be supporting the migrants headed towards the US. Now, those lies succeeded. He lost. But despite that, both these guys were upbeat as they conceded defeat. Here's Mr. O'Rourke.
I want to thank this amazing campaign of people, not a dime from a single pack, all people, all the time, in every single part of Texas. All of you showing the country how you do this. I'm so proud of you guys.
Well, that is enough about the midterms. Happy Diwali. The Festival of Light is on in India and across the world, but the brightness of the event is being diminished by the amount of smog in Delhi. Have a look at this.
Diwali. It's the Festival of Lights, but in some parts of India, a smog is casting a shadow over the celebrations. The festival, observed over 3 to 5 days, denotes the victory of good over evil. People dress in new clothes, exchange sweets, perform rituals, and set off fireworks. But in recent years, the fireworks have sparked a controversy, particularly in New Delhi and the surrounding NCR. New Delhi is one of the most polluted cities in the world, and it gets worse during the months of November and December. Farmers from the neighbouring states of Punjab and Haryana burn their crop stubble to clear their fields, bringing pollution to dangerous levels. Fireworks during Diwali further add to the problem. 2 years ago, India's Supreme Court banned the sale of fireworks. This year, it's allowed the sale and use of only green and low-emission firecrackers that release less toxic fumes. The order also limits the time for lighting fireworks to just 2 hours a day. Many see fireworks as an integral part of the festivities and call this measure an attack on the freedom of religion. Supporters of the ban are also upset. They say just a partial ban on crackers is not the solution and are asking for their right to breathe. Fireworks manufacturers are furious too and see this as a violation of their right to earn a living. So as India gets set to celebrate one of its most important festivals, has pollution ignited a heated debate?
Now, the Afghan Taliban have effectively fought the Afghan army and the international coalition to a stalemate. They mount regular attacks and control large parts of the country. So, after decades of war, will they ever be defeated, or are talks the only answer?
The Taliban now control more land in Afghanistan than in 2001, when the US-led forces invaded the country. Insurgent control in Afghanistan has increased from 7% to 12.5%, with the Taliban mounting deadly attacks across the country. The Afghan government has lost control of more than 15% of the country's districts since November 2015. It now only controls or influences a little over half. About a third of the country remains contested. Civilian deaths have continued since the invasion, with 273 people killed in October 2018 alone. So, will Afghanistan and its supporting foreign forces ever be able to defeat the Taliban?
Okay, let's go around the world now for some other stories you need to know this Wednesday. Now, the man in this photograph has been shot, according to reports. His name is Abu Amro, and he was shot and wounded by the Israeli army. Now, that photo of him holding the flag and using a slingshot was shared millions of times and made most of the international news bulletins. He's been protesting on Monday, as he does every Monday, and that was where he was injured. He's been demonstrating as part of the Great March of Return, which is demanding that Palestinians be allowed to return to the land they were evicted from 70 years ago. Now, do you remember this photo from a few weeks back? It went viral and apparently showed some Ryanair crew sleeping on the floor of an airport as their employer was too cheap to get them a hotel. Well, they have now all been fired. In the days after the image went viral, this video did too, seeming to show the crew staging the photograph. Now, there is poop in that there jar, and it's being carried by billionaire philanthropist Bill Gates. He's on a push to redesign the world's toilets, as he says bad sanitation is a dark stain on the world and dumps disease on millions. He wants to wipe it out. Now, he's already piled $200 million into designing the toilets of the future. He says he will give another $200 million to try and make some of the designs a reality. Now, 60% of people don't use a toilet that is safely managed, according to the World Health Organization. Now, we're all obsessed with taking pictures, but have you ever wanted to get a lesson in how to take a better one? Well, NewsFeed's got you. We spoke to world-renowned photographer Peter Sanders, and he gave us his top tips to take the perfect picture.
I'm Peter Sanders. I'm a professional photographer. My top 5 tips. Take lots of pictures and be your worst critic, because you know everything that's wrong with every image you take. Henry Cartier-Bresson said your first 10,000 are your worst. So get that 10,000 out of the way, okay? Understand light. It's all about light. Watch light, study it, see how it moves throughout the day, see what you like. Study the great masters. Great people, there are great photographers out there. Look and find someone whose pictures you really like and look at them and study them and try and work out how they did them. Always ask someone's permission to take their picture. I know it's hard, it's difficult talking to other people, but it's nice. You might end up with a nice transaction, and the picture you get with their permission is better than one you steal without their permission. Just try sitting still. Choose your spot and then just sit. Watch your breathing, calm down, start listening, start looking, smelling, feel your body, and then look around. The world around you will change and you'll start to see pictures. They will come to you. You won't have to chase after them.
Some solid advice. And animals doing stuff. Now, this often features a creature in its natural habitat or in a zoo or someplace you expect to find them. Well, not this one. Now, this happened in Cusco in Peru. Yes, that's a llama, native to the nation, obviously, and it's got somewhere to go, as you can see. So he gets in the cab like he's done it a million times. Now, we're not sure where he drives off to, but we do want to know what his Uber rating's like. All right, that's all from the NewsFeed team. Reach out to me with your questions, comments, complaints, and suggestions. I'm at Kamali Melbourne. You'll find us 24/7 on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Follow, subscribe, and add. See you again tomorrow.